Thank you all for joining us while we talk about simplifying user experiences for complex content at USAGov. Oops, going back. Anyway, I'm Joanne McGovern, and I am a white woman with medium length brown hair and glasses. I'm wearing a green shirt today. I'm a UX designer for USAGov, and my pronouns are she, her.
Hi, my name is Mercedita. I am a contractor UX researcher for USAGov. Today I'm wearing a blue shirt and glasses. I have brown hair and my pronouns are she, her. I'm currently located in Seattle, Washington, and I'm really excited to be here today. Slide 3. So how many times have you tried to navigate a web page to resolve an issue and you don't know where to start due to the complexity of the page or the content? Slide 4. Unfortunately, this scenario is more common than you might imagine. Everyone wants to navigate a web page that is user-friendly and simple, but few people talk about what it takes to make a prototype simple. Here we have a screenshot of our previous usa.gov how to report a scam page. The web page content is complex, long, and dense. And if the user was in an emotional stage due to the experienced scam, they might find this page quite overwhelming. Slide 5. So the irony of simplicity is that we must go through a complex process in order to get a simple product. We must understand the needs from users, require features and context, and all these things can actually add complexity. Here are 3 things that makes a product simple. An understandable structure, which is the logic when someone uses a product or service, how it's optimized for most people. So we look at all the possible situations and find a solution that will satisfy most of our users, and how our system takes on the burden of the complexity, so it solves the problem for you or for us.
This is Joanne speaking. Slide 6. So about 2.5 years ago, we were in the very early days of working on a new website. One of the things we did first was a content design phase. We had never approached our content in this way before, and even though it took us months to get through it all, it was a really valuable exercise. We took a very thorough look at the content on our website and came up with proposals to improve our customer experience. We weren't writing new content at this point. We were charged with thinking about what topics we should be presenting. Did we have unnecessary content, or were we missing content? We thought about how to structure and present our content using US Web Design System components and any other solutions we could come up with. Slide 7. So small teams of content writers, editors, and UX folks focused on one topic at a time. We reviewed existing English and Spanish content, website analytics, survey comments, contact center analytics, search data, and we thought about our structure and our problem areas. We defined our audience and the user intents for every single piece of content we recommended. And we were encouraged to come up with solutions without thinking about any constraints. Slide 8. So we took a human-centered design approach, making sure we knew as much about our user intents as possible, and then developing our content to meet those specific needs. No more, no less. So our scams team reviewed all the data, and among other things, they took note of how much time and effort it took to read and understand all that dense text we presented on the website. And they looked for ways to streamline that experience. Slide 9. Don't worry that this slide is illegible. It's just boxes and arrows. You don't have to read the words. I just wanted to share the rough prototype of what they came up with. They organized and structured all the content they wanted to include, and then they imagined a prototype tool. The idea was to develop a tool that would present the user with a series of questions to answer that would lead them to the place to report their particular scam. Slide 10, and thus the Report a Scam tool was born. The new tool was launched with our new website earlier this year, and the Report a Scam tool is now live on usa.gov and USAGov in Espanol. We're also thinking about other topics that might lend themselves to this type of treatment, things like how to report a crime or how to file complaints and some other topics. But that doesn't mean that the work on the Report a Scam tool is done, not at all. We know that this product is in very early stages, and we're actively looking for ways to improve it. Back to you, Dita.
Thank you. Slide 11. This is Mercedita again. We knew the content of our How to Report a Scam page was quite complex. For that reason, in order to collect user experiences, stories, and data, we completed usability studies. Slide 12. In order to start a usability test, we recruit our target through an application. In this case, our target was English and Spanish speaking users from underserved communities that either use mobile or desktop devices daily. These 30 minutes remote and conversational interviews was the scenario to test our scam wizard or tool that it was a prototype. Slide 13. During these usability studies, the user had the opportunity to navigate our previous USAGov webpage against our new tool, which it was a prototype back then. Here is a screenshot of our mobile prototype while performing a usability test. We noticed how our scam wizard or tool was drawing users' attentions due to the simplified experience. These conversations help our team design an efficient, user-friendly, and simple tool with our web content. Slide 14. So what exactly we learned from this usability test? Well, that a participant highlighted the emotional state and stressful times when experiencing a scam. Slide 15. That by removing unnecessary wording and creating a cleaner tool, the participants felt calmer. Slide 16. That most participants preferred the scam wizard because it's intuitive, clear, simple, and useful. Back to you, Joanne.
Thanks, Dita. And this is Joanne speaking again, slide 17. And as we're speaking of iterative improvements, slide 18, there's an image on this slide. It's a woman holding a baby in her right arm while interacting with a smart speaker with her left hand. So now we're leveraging the content work that we did to develop the Report a Scam tool, and we're turning it into conversational content. So people who want to use smart speakers can use those to find out how to report a scam. So we're still in very early development stages, so I don't have a final product to show off just yet, but maybe we'll come back and talk about that experience next year if you'll have us. But as we approach the voice interaction, we know it's very important for us to be using this new voice channel to convey the same information that we offer on the website and in our contact center. We work very hard to be sure that we're always delivering the same information, no matter what channel people choose to reach us. Slide 19. This is another slide that you don't have to read. Again, it's just boxes and arrows, but I wanted to include it to show you how we're adapting our web content into conversational content. Adapting web content to conversational content is a task into itself. We have the structure, and that's a great starting point. But when I'm speaking to someone, even if it's a bot, perhaps I use different words or phrases than you would. And conversational content, we have to consider our tone, inflection, even where it makes sense to have a brief pause or not. We were able to bring in a conversation designer, and that's a whole job title now. And she's working with our content team as well as the folks in our contact center, because who's better at understanding what scams conversations are like than the people who talk about scams every day? At this point, we're settled on the content, but we won't consider it final until we're able to QA it using an actual voice assistant. We do our best to have these pretend conversations with each other, but conversing with a bot is different than conversing with a human. So we're holding off on final approval until we can see it in action. So once we're satisfied with the product, we'll go into beta testing. And don't be surprised if you see an email from the UX community of practice looking for people to give it a try and offer us some feedback. We also plan on some usability testing, and then we'll finally release our bot into the wild to help people report their scams. While we're doing that, we're going to continue to gather usage data on the scams tool that we have on the website, as well as what we can gather from the voice assistant, and we'll adjust and improve as we go along. Thank you very much.